Ain't no ass Steppin with Marcus J. Thank you everybody for staying with us here in social media. Ain't nobody calling us, but that's cool because we know y'all still out there on Loud City and tune in, MixLR, LegacyInternetRadio.com. We the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio. We appreciate everybody that's still listening to us. If you want to be down with us in the round table, give us a call at 804-402-2893 to be down with us. Big Rube is going to lead us in that segment here very shortly. Before we do that, we do have a missing and or exploited child that we need to profile. And this week, the missing and or exploited child goes by the name of Mecca Davis. Mecca Davis has been missing since October 11th, 2013. She's missing from Morristown, New Jersey, which is about 45 minutes from my hometown in Jersey City, New Jersey. Mecca's date of birth is February 18, 1997. She's 16 years old. She's a black female with brown hair, brown eyes. She's 5'2" and weighs 130 pounds. There's two photos here on our fan pages and our personal pages of Mecca. She may be in the company of 3 female juveniles. She may still be in New Jersey. Her ears are pierced, and when she was last seen, her hair was dyed burgundy. If you have seen Mecca Davis, please contact the National Center for Missing and or Exploited Children on their website, missingkids.com, or contact them by phone at 1-800-LOST, 1-800-843-5678. Please bring home our missing and or exploited children. Yes, ma'am.
I have a problem.
Okay, what's up?
You're going to have a problem.
I'm going to have a problem. What'd I do?
Yes, my sister Joy.
Joy.
And I'm telling you, I just love her. My sister Joy said, you ought to go to the movies.
Oh, my good. Joy, whose side you on, girl?
And I'm going to badger you now.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, Michelle. I'm going to change that. Hey, Michelle.
Michelle, our winner
from last week. See how easy that was to distract her and change the subject?
But back to the movies.
You know, has Steppin with Marcus J. All right, Big Rube. You ready to lead us in the round table, my man? You ready to do this, my man?
Of course.
All right, let's go into the round table. What we got, my man?
Let's see. Well, we'll talk about the hot button at the beginning. Earlier today, we talked about the situation at Barney's with the kid, and that ain't his card and ain't his ID. Well, some people, I guess most people know maybe in New York, but I didn't know this until this situation happened, that Jay-Z has a partnership with Barney's.
Really?
Yes. And he basically came out with a statement saying that while he opposes discrimination of any kind, he's not willing to make decisions about the future of the collaboration until after a meeting between community leaders and Barney's, because that will ultimately harm, all the people that stand a chance of higher education. Now, the fact he's getting flack from it and everything, and is what it is. But ultimately, we're not going to talk about Jay-Z or Barney's or whatever, because, honestly, you can go to the newspaper, read that. You can go to the internet, read that. What I want to talk about is, as Marcus J doesn't know, the situation, of course, that happened at Barney's is really sad. As I stated earlier, I don't know a lot about the NYPD. I've been there a couple times. I've never lived there. I've never had any type of, meeting with them, that sort of thing. Now, I guess my feeling is that, as I said earlier, there's a whole bunch of somebody's racist, treating you racist. Now, while I believe that happens, are we crying wolf a little too much? I'll let y'all think about that for a second.
I ain't got to think about it.
I mean, I know you ain't got to think about it. And I guess my thing is, once again, what I believe is what I believe. And my thing is that we're hearing it all the time, and that's fine. Because if it happens, we should hear about it. My question is, are we, as black people, using it a little bit too much, or is it really just happening on that bigger basis that is just all over the place and that sort of thing? So since Marcus already knows what he wants to say, I'll let the ladies think about that for a second. because I know what Marcus J's about to say. But Marcus J, tell everybody what I know you about to say that that you're gonna say.
We live in a world, where we are culturally conditioned to believe, and I'm stealing this. This isn't mine. This is from the Black Eagle, Joe Madison. We live in a world where we are culturally conditioned to believe that right is right, and black is wrong, and the manifestation of that is that we are undervalued, underestimated, and marginalized in this country. And every single time we see these situations come up and we keep our mouths shut, we add to it. Martin Luther King once said that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And so when we see these situations come up and we stay quiet, all we do is feed into the nonsense. We see black folk acting a damn fool, and they represent those of us who never act a damn fool. And so if we don't say nothing, then they get to represent all of us. And if they get to represent all of us, the masses gets to see that. And the masses say, you know what? That's just how they are. They deserve what they getting. And that's not cool, man. It's just not cool, because I don't, trust me, yo. They don't want me to be the one that gets profiled up in a store like Barney's. They really don't want me to be that dude, for real. I mean, I can't speak for the young fella. I'm sure he's got his attorney and he's doing what it is he's doing, and when I'm asked, I'll give you my opinion of Jay-Z. You haven't asked me that, so when you do, I'll give you what my opinion of that is. But we cannot remain quiet, because you know what? This shit don't happen to nobody but us. Nobody but us. What happens when gay people get discriminated upon? They shut shit down. What happens when Jewish people do it? They shut shit down. What happens when black people do it? We be quiet, and we want to include everybody. And we want to have meetings with everybody sitting at the table. White folk, black folk, Asian folk. Every single community got to sit at the table with us when some shit happen to us. But when it's everybody else, what do? They rally around each other as a community, and they fix their own shit. So why we can't fix our own shit? That pisses me off so much that I said shit a lot of times, but I don't care. I don't care, because this ain't cool, man. I'm tired of seeing it. You tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing it for a completely different reason. Because my guess is you would rather sweep it under the carpet, correct me if I'm wrong, and act like it didn't happen. Me, every single time it happened, I want to talk about it. Every time it happens.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Every time it happens. And I shouldn't, I shouldn't put upon you the fact that you don't have the fire in your rhetoric as I do, as your lack of passion in it, and that's my bad, and I apologize for doing that. But the thing of the matter is, I don't like when folks say that they tired of seeing it and they don't want to hear about it no more. That annoys me, because this stuff been going on since we've been here, 400 years, in different versions. Instead of Jim Crow, we dealing with James Crow Esquire Jr., and I'm sick and tired of it.
Now, I agree with what you're saying. And earlier I said I'm just sick and tired of it. I'm tired of not us as a whole, black people as a whole, complaining or making notice with what's happening, but I'm tired of people doing it to us. Now, if we as a whole respected ourselves enough, okay, if we taught our children, if we just keep the line going, and everybody learns their history, learn how important it is actually for you to be black, and stop wanting to fight and doing anything else to your mankind, your people, then they would respect us a little bit more. Okay, but one person going into the store, one person doing this, that, or the other, one person punching one person because somebody said the N-word. I mean, no, that's not it. Now, granted, go ahead and take care of yourself. Fight for your right. I'm 100% for that. But all those groups that you mentioned, they stick together as a whole. And we don't do it, man. We're like, F you, I got me, and blah, 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 and I don't want to associate with you because you like this. That is the problem. That is the problem. And if mommy don't teach Junior and the little sister what to do, and they don't learn it right, and they don't go back to the next child, to their child or the neighbor's child, how the hell is it going to happen? They're going to keep disrespecting us and treating us the way they think we should be treated, because we allow us to do it to us. So if we can't respect each other, who the hell else is going to respect us? I'm not going to take you seriously. Why would anybody else?
Well put. I agree. 100%.
I was saying this yesterday. I feel that black people today don't think there is a problem. And that's why we are just lax. We're just, well, it happened to them, it won't happen to me type of thing. It will happen to you if you continue to let it happen to your brother and your sister. So I agree with you guys. Like, we need to stand up and do more. I'm not tired of hearing about it. We need to hear about this, and we need to do something about it.
Every time something happens to one black person, pay attention. It is not that person. It's all of us. Because you're next, I could be next. It doesn't matter whether you know that person or not. It's not happening to them. It's happening to us. Because the finest thing that can happen on this earth is your behind disappear. That is the finest thing. So if you keep letting it happen, then what you complaining for? What are you complaining for? That's what you asked for. That's what you get.
Wow. I really have nothing else to say. I agree with all of you. But since Marcus brought it up, what is your feelings on the Jay-Z? What his message or his thought process is?
Well, here's the thing, man. I am very big into social activity and being socially conscious and being aware of what's going on around you in your hood. And I think someone excuse me, I'm sorry. I think someone who
All right.
I'm having technical difficulty. Give me a second.
Sorry about that, Marcus.
Can you repeat it for me?
Because Jay-Z's pretty much like.
Sorry about that.
I'm waiting to hear.
You good?
I'm waiting to hear what happens between the leaders of the company and the leaders of the community before he makes a decision, because he's basically saying that whatever it is, he's teaming up with Barney's and they are putting kids to college.
Here, let me finish the quote. I got my voice back. You got a dude like this who grew up in the hood, who used to be a crack dealer, who makes music that perpetuates the lifestyle and makes a kid like young Mr. Christian want to go into the store and buy this expensive stuff. And for him to have a deal with this store and to want to side with the store before making a decision on what his position is going to be, to me, is irresponsible. Absolutely irresponsible, because you don't need to know no more than the fact that this kid went into the store, and when he was vetted, his paperwork came back right. They took him down to the precinct because they thought he was dirty, and there's no proof of him being dirty. So what else do we need to investigate? What are we talking about here?
Absolutely.
And it is the culture of, and don't get me wrong, this may sound like hypocrisy to me, to y'all, coming from me. Fine, I love Jay-Z as a rapper, hate him as a business person, and hate him socially, simply because I honestly believe that any single person that comes from the hood in Black America has a greater duty beyond just making money. You need to give back, period. And you could disagree with that, and that's fine. It may not be the same in other communities and other cultures. That's fine too. In our community and our culture, you have a duty to give back because our community produced you. Whether it be you sold crack to the crackheads and made your money, or you went to the community center for free and you learned how to play basketball and now you made your money. It doesn't matter. You came from the community. And so you need to give back to it. And so you got your little clothing line that's going to be in the same store that put out a kid that went to buy this stuff in large part because of the music that you put out, and you ain't got nothing to say. And Al Sharpton wants to come out and say that we want to wait just like Jay-Z said and we should be getting on Jay-Z. Thumbs down to you too, Al Sharpton. You too. So, you know what? Not cool.
Well, Sharpton also threatened a boycott.
He threatened to boycott. I get that. He had to placate to the people who follow him, so he had to throw that out there. He had to say, "Yeah, we're going to boycott." He had to say that, and that's cool. But when you defend the indefensible, which I believe Jay-Z's position is indefensible, then you get to be looked at the same way. Period. You know, if you lie down with dogs, you might get fleas, and that's what's going on in this situation. You got fleas on this one. I'm sorry.
My mama says that.
You just do.
You know, I'm mixed. Like, I feel like he should just pull out of the Barney situation.
Yep.
But, you know, as he said, you know, the problem is a situation of, you know, I could really get a lot of money from this company who hates black people for black people, you know, and I kind of feel like that's what he's thinking about. At this point in time, he can kind of, he has the upper hand as a sir, because I'm pretty sure he's like, yo, I'm about to get these dudes, you know, I'm about to get rid of these dudes. But he probably thought about it, you know what, I could probably get some more money out of them for they don't like black people, but they can send a whole bunch of black kids to college. And that's just, I mean, whether
I don't. Here's why I don't buy that.
All right.
Because Jay-Z and Beyonce together made $1 billion last year. He can send those same kids to college, and all he got to do, like, he would be Robin Hood.
Yeah.
All of these dudes, LeBron, Michael Jordan, Jay-Z, Kanye, who just rented out a whole freaking universe to give a 15-carat ring to Kim Kardashian. Hey, look, I'm not going to judge him. That's your boo. That's your boo. Do what you got to do. But there's so much money in our community that we could be spending in a more wise way, that when I see you defending, you know, big business who just profiled a kid that's trying to be like you, come on, man. Really?
I get you. I understand it. You know, gotta play a little devil's advocate.
I can dig it. It would just, you know, the devil is a liar on this one.
All day.
All right. Cool. Anybody else got any more comments about the situation? Loud and proud. We can't allow this to go on. And she's got the Dave Food Diva's got her fist up.
Yes. Power to the people.
Jeez.
Revolution. I'm ready.
Oh my
Jeez,
God.
yeah,
I'm just
you
glad
good.
I could talk.
Shall
I'm
be
sorry for all the
televised.
coughing, y'all. Please excuse me. I got like this dry cough right now, and I don't know where the hell it came from. It just took me over in that last little piece, but I apologize.
Don't worry, I would have saved you. I'm certified.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Shut up. Next topic. I mean, I just had to finish the banner. You know, man, I'm going to have to be that asshole today.
Shocker.
Today. I'm sorry.
Yeah, today. Because, you know, my question to the crew is, I don't need to go into situations or anything like that. The question is simple. No offense to those people who I'm about to talk about right now, but how many passes do old people get? Real talk. I'm in Martin's the other day, and I'm waiting in the line to the do your own self line, you know, the self checkout. So, you know, I see, okay, everything's filled up. There's a old dude in front of me, and one of the joints opened up, and he's on the other side, and I was like, wait a minute, that dude's in front of me. Hey, you can go ahead and get this one, because that's how you should do. He was there first, he gets first. Hey, thank you, man. I mean, you know, nice guy. However, on the backside, you got old dude number 2. Somebody walked away from their thing because there were some issues, and he just rolls up in there. I'm standing right there in the quote-unquote line, and he just rolls up in there. Then he realized, oh, somebody's on us. And then another dude leaves because having issues. He rolls up there, oh, somebody's on us. And I'm just like, I ain't going nowhere. You know, I'm right here. And then you got another older woman behind her. You know, she has decided to start the line behind her. And I'm just like, you know what? But the good thing about it is, you know, now that we have 2 lines, because we're not supposed to have 2 lines, you know, one opened up on my side, and I gave him the nanny nan boo boo and rolled up on that one. But I bring that to say this: how many times you been driving, and Bessie been going 25 in a 45 mile per hour zone? You know, how many times you almost got hit when you backing out? You started to back out. You're 75% through, and then you got old Sam backing out because he can't see you. Ladies and gentlemen, I pose this question to the group. How many damn passes do old people get in a setting? Ask why.
1. 1.
Now, what do you do if number 2 comes up? Do you go up to him?
Excuse me.
So you just roll up in their face
There's
and be
a
like,
line.
oh, damn.
Excuse me.
And then they give you the, but I'm old look.
I know.
So after that 1.
1 pass. 1.
Wow.
I don't want to see your AARP card. It doesn't mean nothing. You don't buy one get one free. Don't cut one person.
But what
cut
about the stuff
next.
that they went through back in the past that they sat here and did all this stuff?
Right, and now
so
you're doing it to me. No. Next.
All right, somebody's got strong feelings. Deadpool Diva.
Okay. I guess older people, there are elders, we're supposed to show them respect.
You let them run over you, don't you?
However, I did have this happen to me recently where I was standing in line to get a service done, and these 2 older people, they were kind of like slickly coming up on my side to get in front of me. And the first lady, okay, go ahead. But by the second lady, I'm like looking at her, and she said something to the first lady, like, girl, you done bust all in front of this lady.
Oh, damn, she called her out?
Yeah. So I just went ahead and said, well, I'll do this next time. You know, it was for a blood pressure check prior to my Zumba class. So I said, I will just do it next time. I mean, I'm not going to battle with these
So you let them
folks.
guilt you out of your place?
That particular time, it worked. I just didn't feel like fighting.
They're really conniving. You gotta watch
out. They were sliding up on the
they
side.
Slicksters.
In my blind spot, they were coming up. And I knew what was going on, but I was like, you know what, do you really want to battle this? Really? So I just let it slide that particular day.
So pretty much all they got to do is bat a couple eyes and play the old card and you done.
Well, don't think that you don't have certain situations, a pretty lady or, you know, somebody you're really looking at that they may get a pass. And they may be able to do that.
We're not talking about pretty ladies who can show their leg, because somebody 85, I ain't trying to see nothing.
What about a cougar with pretty legs?
That's not old. She's a cougar. That's completely different. I'm talking about
old ass panther. That's 70 years alley cat trying to slide on the side.
See, I don't know nothing about them Panthers, because nah. See, we not even getting to that discussion. Marcus J, I know you got something profound to say.
Hell no.
I knew he was gonna say
no passes.
It depends. Honestly, it depends on your handicap level. For me, I mean, and I don't say that in a disrespectful way, you know. But I say that respectfully. If you have a physical reason for why you can't stand in line where you belong, then you get a pass without me even thinking about it. You know,
but that means you got to roll up in a chair.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean you got to roll up in a chair. You know, you don't necessarily have to roll up in a chair or, you know, or a cane or whatever, you know. But if in my interpretation of the situation for me, and it also may have something to do with how busy I am that day, how much of a rush I'm in that day. I'm a Gemini, so I might have an attitude that day. I mean, all of those things going to play into it. I'm just being real. And so, and it also, and I'm going to keep it 100 right here. Your facial expression might have something to do with it as well. Because if you walk up on me looking entitled, your ass gonna wait. If you walk up on me and
looking crotchety, I mean, ain't nobody gonna be more crotchety than me. I'm misanthropic. That's just who I am. And so you can be as old as you want, but you ain't gonna be meaner than me.
Yep.
And so if you come up there and you giving me the face, and I'm standing there and you try to get in front of me, they just might be picking you up off of the floor. Ooh, I'm sorry, they just mopped it.
Goodness,
they use
abusing elderly
as a weapon. They use it as a weapon.
They just mopped. They just mopped.
Clean up by the cash register.
I was trying to catch him. I didn't push him. I was trying to catch him. You know, but seriously, nah. You know, you can't be cutting in line. I got here just like you did.
Yep.
And, you know, if it's a situation, just like common courtesy that you might have with someone in your same age group, if you got one thing in your hand, it should be understood if you got a big ass basket to let me go. But then some people don't. And it's their right to not let you go. And you can't feel some kind of way if they don't let you go, at least not verbally. In your head, you can call them everything but a son of, you know, a son of the God. But, you know, we know personal etiquette. And I don't think the fact that they're old should allow them any passes. Straight up.
All right. How old should you have to be to get your license taken?
I mean, it depends. I don't think it should be an age thing because, you know, Alzheimer's can set in on a person in their 50s. And there are people well into. I told a story back when we were on the website we used to be on a long time ago. I was in Petersburg working the 9 to 5, and I was in a store, and I saw a guy who came in, and I was talking to the lady, and I tell this very short story, a long story in a short way, just to make this point. You know, the lady, as I'm dealing with her in my professional setting, old guy comes in. He's clearly an old man, and she says, "How old do you think this dude is?" And I was like, I don't know. She's like, "Take a guess. How old do you think he is?" And now he's standing there, you know, and I was like, I don't know, 80, you know, because he looked like he's about 80 something. And she said, "Pull out your ID." And he pulled out his ID. Man, that joint said 1903. This dude was 109 years old at the time. And after I talked to him, I was in awe, absolutely in awe, because he didn't walk with an old man limp or none of that kind of stuff. The only way that you can tell that he was of a highly advanced age, because his eyes had like that grayish look to it that sometimes elderly folks might have. But I talked to him, I shook his hand, I gave him a hug because I was just in awe of him. And he came in for pistachio nuts. That's all he wanted. And he turned around and he got into his car. It was like a Crown Vic, and drove away. It blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. That dude doesn't need to have his license taken. But somebody that's 52 years old that has early onset Alzheimer's probably does. So there needs to be testing done, not necessarily.
It's an individual
and
basis.
yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like my nana, we needed to take her license from her before we finally did. You know, and she had a car accident. That's what caused us to take her license. We probably should have taken it before we took it, but you know, it is what it is.
Cool. All right. And the last one today.
One quick hit. We're getting a hit from Joy, who we didn't get your comment in earlier, Joy. She's alluding to the conversation we were talking about Jay-Z. She says she's upset that Jay-Z doesn't give back. She agrees that that's messed up. Just wanted to get that comment in.
All right. Now, as much as I wanted to say this for last, I really felt like we need to talk about it. You know, one of my best friends is in jail. Chris Brown.
Oh, good grief.
For let me see. Let me get the alleged.
I knew you were going to talk
alleged assault. First of all, he did it Sunday morning. Really, dude? Sunday morning? You should be in church.
It was after Saturday night partying, dude. It was like 4:30 in the morning.
He punched a man once in the face, reportedly breaking his nose.
Do you know why?
It didn't say why.
Oh,
wait a minute.
Okay, if you got the why. If you don't have the why, I'll give you the why.
It doesn't say why.
The why is a female was asking for an autograph. He was giving the autograph to the female. The male got a little bit belligerent and was getting involved and kind of messing with him. And Chris, of course, we know has a short temper. And Chris snapped because the dude was messing with him. And that's what happened, which is the reason why they reduced the charge from felonious assault to a misdemeanor today.
Oh, so the guy was asking for it. That's
Pretty
all.
much, yeah.
Good.
But
he's on probation for like 5 years,
I'm
man.
not
Don't touch nobody.
I'm not justifying it. I'm with you.
Yeah,
on this
don't touch
one.
him. What the hell is wrong with you?
You can't punch people in the nose for being a jackass. They have to put their hands on you first.
All right. So first of all, before I get into my rant about it, you know, real talk, and I hate to put it like this, but we need, what needs to happen to Chris Brown to get him under control? I'm sick of him dogging Virginia, man. Every time he's in the news, some dumb shit, excuse my language, the thing I always remember, I'm from Steppin, VA. I was like, and I'm just like, why do you tell everybody where you live at? Because now every time he does something negative, they always put singer, professional rapper, or whatever from Steppin, Virginia. I was like, man, I can't take it.
I don't get caught up in that. I don't get caught up in that. Just like I don't get caught up in every time somebody black male does something stupid. I don't get caught up in that's him. That's that individual that did something stupid.
Yeah, I understand that, but you know, it's just one of those things, man. It's kind of annoying, just especially, you know, to a dude who's supposed to be a role model.
Who said that?
See, that's the bad part.
Who said that?
We should not be making them think that they are role models. They're people. They're just like you. They're just like me. He happens to sing for a living.
The only thing that I'll say to that, though, that's why, is anytime a person is in the limelight, I mean, if you got to the point where you're on TV more than once in a week, then people are watching you. And if you are on certain channels, MTV, BET, where most of the viewers are young people, whether you want to be or not, whether it's fair or not. You know, I don't know if role model is the term that we want to use because it makes us all feel a little uncomfortable to use that phrase, but the reality is people are watching you. And, you know, I remember Charles Barkley said a long time ago, I am not a role model. Yes, you are. Because people watching you, people buying your records. They buy your records because they like you. They like what you're doing. They buy your jersey because they think you're a good ball player. And so does that put undue and unfair pressure on you? Absolutely. Get over it.
But that's what you asked for.
You asked for it when you got into absolutely, which is the reason why the crew of Legacy Internet Radio, we can't go out and wild out. We can't go out and do stupid stuff because people, I'm not saying that we're role models, but if one of us went and did something stupid and ended up on the news, it reflects on all of us. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to look at it big. You got to look at a bigger picture.
Now, while I'll agree that, you know, whoever it is, for whatever reason, they're in the limelight, should kind of pay attention to some of the things they do, but don't expect them to be picture perfect. You can't. These are still people.
I expect a dude who's on probation not to punch somebody in the face.
Okay, well, see, now you already know that the boy has a problem. You already know that. So
he doesn't know that apparently because he punched some dude in the face.
He knows who he is, and he's being himself. Now, you should not expect anything other than that. If he's going to do something to surprise you, then let's not see him in the news for at least 6 months straight.
But I'm saying, when does personal responsibility come into play?
He's being himself. I
mean, that's great. He's being himself. But, you know,
he's going to suffer those consequences.
No, he's not. He got it reduced to a freaking misdemeanor.
Trust me, he will suffer the consequences.
That's not suffering crap. He should have gotten a full board. I'm just like, look, man, you got off the first time, basically. Basically, you got to pass. Saying, hey, you got to pass. Don't go effing up anymore. And he was cool. Then he had the issue with Frank Ocean. I mean, how you going to beat the dude up in his own state record joint, man? Really, in his parking lot? The dude owns the place. You gonna beat him up in his own parking lot.
Right. And don't forget when he threw the chair through the window of that talk show.
Yeah, America. Good Morning America. Are you kidding? Good Morning America.
Something
I'm just saying. You know, it's just like, what is it going to take for this? What is it going to take for this dude to figure it out?
He needs some help, some professional help. Somebody needs to counsel him. But he has to be able to admit that he has an issue. He has a problem.
If everyone stopped
paying attention,
Chris Brown, paying attention to Chris Brown, buying what Chris Brown sings, and just take it away from Chris Brown, then Chris Brown might stop and think.
I love his music, though. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'll stop listening to it.
I'm not saying that his music is bad, because I like some of it, too.
I love his music.
But see, that's the problem. As long as he's doing what he's doing,
he's talented.
Y'all watching.
That's the problem. He's two different people. I mean, Teddy beat up his wife when he was in a wheelchair when people bought his albums. You know, and I keep bringing up the
that right there is a whole nother
I don't agree with that. That's why, because people going to do what they're going to do, whether there's cameras there or not. You know, when DMX was seen running through the hotel butt-ass naked, you think he was doing that because he thought there was a camera there? No, he was doing it because he crazy as hell.
They're going to be who they are, no matter what.
Right.
I'm saying don't expect anything different from these people.
Right. But the last part of what you said was, you know, if they stop doing it, you know, then maybe people will stop paying attention to them.
If we stop.
Yeah, and I disagree with that point, that part of your point, because You know, at the end of the day, you know, most of people's real messed up stuff happens when we ain't watching, ain't no cameras around. Like Michael Jackson went to sleep. He took that long nap when we wasn't looking. And Michael is on my mind because Conrad Murray just got out of jail.
Okay.
You know, so, you know.
If we all, or if everyone, I'm just going to assume, everyone, hypothetically, just no one listens to Chris Brown. No one buys anything, no albums from Chris Brown. No nothing. Chris Brown who? You mean to tell me? Now, he's going to act up because nobody's paying attention to me no more. I need some attention. But if nobody pays any attention to Chris Brown again, Chris Brown is going to be null and void.
He's going to still be punching people in the face.
He has a problem that
Just
goes
like,
beyond the media. Mm-hmm. He has a problem. Somebody need to help him.
He gonna be on celebrity rehab.
He's gonna be on drugs or something worse. I mean, I can just see self-destructive stuff happening, and you see it unfold. And you're like, when is it gonna stop?
He's gonna go. He's gonna
go. And I guess I need to explain to people why I have this hate love relationship with Chris Brown. I really feel like the dude was doing what he was doing. He was a good place. And then one day, he probably met the wrong person. And it is what it is. However, the problem with that is, you know, there are a lot of people who come from Virginia who are out there and don't do stupid stuff. You know? Trey Songz ain't beat nobody up.
Yeah, but Trey Songz out there arguing with people, fighting and fussing at the court over Chris Brown today. Come on now. Give me another one.
Once again.
Give me another one.
And I mean, I hate to say his name, but Blair Underwood done nothing stupid lately.
He did Ironside.
He sure
I have a question for you, Ruben.
Do you cancel now?
Yeah, after 2 episodes.
Do you think that Chris Brown's entourage may have something to do with him being so hyped?
No, his entourage does what he tells him to do. What he tells him to do. Now he may say, "Hey, look, you know, I'm trying to party strong tonight, whatever." But his people get paid to do what he tells them to do. You know, they're not gonna be like, "Yo, man, you don't need to do that because that might look bad for your image." He's got other people for that who ain't around when he does all the stupid stuff. And then every once in a while, I gotta hear the fact, and no BS, I gotta hear the fact that this dude was at my place of employment singing, because he came during one summer and he sung before he got big. And I got to hear about that crap. And that affects the kids who were there. And it's just the fact that, yeah, he may not think he's a role model, but the fact that, one, he made it big. He made it really big, really quickly. This dude, every freaking child from the age of 7 to 22 loved this dude when he was 17. And now he comes out with music, and it's just like, FB, all that. I mean, his last album was like the worst.
What bothers you more? He's Chris Brown acting a fool, or that he's Chris Brown acting a fool and the fool is from Virginia?
Yeah, that's a good question for Ruben.
Because I'm really thinking it's all about Virginia.
Honestly, yeah. Because I feel like that. I mean, yeah, I guess I have to rep where I live.
I guess Yonkers is really pissed about DMX then, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, probably not. But no, man. It's just, for me, it's like, this is a dude who basically said, you know, I got a talent and I can make it big. And he affected a lot of kids in Virginia positively. And now he goes out and acts like he ain't got no home training. Well, he may not have never had home training. He just might have been.
He didn't.
But whatever.
But he didn't.
Yeah.
If you know his biography, you know he didn't have no home training.
I mean, he had issues too. But it's just a point where you look at his biography. He rose from the ashes and became an angel, and now he's the devil's incarnate. It's just like the worst. And like I said, man, there are a lot of people who are like, I want to be like Chris Brown from Virginia. And then he goes around and acts the damn fool all the time. And yeah, I guess, it's a lot because he's from Virginia, because Virginia don't have a lot. I mean, you can say what you want, but Virginia don't have a whole bunch to smile about. I mean, for God's sakes, we're a commonwealth. We're considered a state, but realistically, we're a freaking commonwealth. We live in the freaking Bible Belt. I mean, we got to deal with Pat Robertson on a daily basis. You know, because you know what? What people know about Virginia? The 700 freaking club. The 700 club, and that dude literally every 3 months he wilds out and says something that he shouldn't be saying.
Reminds me of another guy.
Yeah, whatever. But I mean, it's just, you know, it's just stuff like that. And I guess, yeah, I just want the dude to do something better for himself. You know, and Trey Songz, I understand he's looking out for his friend, but he ain't going punching people and shit. I mean, you know, it's just, I'm not a fan of somebody who has that kind of talent and really power, and they just abuse it. I'm just not a fan. And the only reason, I mean, he's from Virginia, so yeah, I think it sucks that he sucks.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I think it's kind of like alcoholism or drug problem. I think
he
he has
sucks.
a problem that he really needs help with. He may not can help himself. He has an anger management problem.
I mean, he was cool for like a year.
Joy agrees with you. The fact that
year.
he's from VA is a big problem with Joy. She agrees with you.
Yeah, I mean, really, I ain't talked about this dude in damn near 6 months.
I know.
I don't know.
I mean, you see, I understand, but you know, if it was somebody real big repping Jersey City, and then they come around and start wilding out, you gonna feel some kind of way. I just vocalize I feel some kind of way about it.
I disagree with that because we've had people in Jersey City who did some crazy stuff, and most of them are local, and we know who they are. But
And then
it's
you-
not. It's
and then
not
you're
something
used
that-
to it.
Well, that's not fair either.
I mean, I'm just
To say that's not fair either. But you know, there's things with my hometown that make me unhappy, but I don't internalize it like you do. And I think the fact that he's from VA and he's so high profile, I think
Makes it worse.
Makes it worse for you personally. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, while Jersey City has some minor celebrities, we don't have anybody of the
Yeah.
caliber of Chris. I mean, we've got some people from the state of New Jersey.
that he's been in the 4-H program. I mean, just stuff like that, man. All the stuff that I guess I hold
so that are personal to you, and it
Yeah,
see,
this dude's acting like an
it,
asshole.
It affects you on a personal level, and I guess I get that. I guess I get that. I guess I get that.
I just want the dude to act right, man. Act and just act
But
right.
you
That's
know,
all I want.
but the thing of the matter is, like, you know, I know I mentioned DMX earlier. I remember watching Earl when he was on with Iyanla Van Zant, and I just remember thinking how sad that was. Because, you know, if anybody ever saw it, if you didn't see it, then go and Google, you know, Fix My Life with the Iyanla Van Zant on the Oprah-owned network. The episode she had with DMX, where those people who just watched him getting in trouble over the years, you know, you seeing him on the news and getting arrested and going to jail and all that kind of stuff, you just thought he was tripping. But then when you sat and you watched that interview, you saw how much pain that he's in. Most of it's self-inflicted, but it's still pain nonetheless. And then you get a better understanding of why people do some of the things they do. And, you know, addiction is a real serious thing. You know, people oftentimes don't want to give the same kind of credence to addiction that you would give to, you know, having cancer or having some other type of affliction, because, you know, we see that addiction is self-inflicted, but you still hurt nonetheless. Now, I don't know if Chris has a substance abuse problem. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But the fact of the matter is, he is in pain. We know his biography. We know about what he saw when he was growing up. He's in pain, man. And hurt people. And so when you continue to move through your life in that kind of pain without getting the kind of help that you need, then you're going to continue to do it. And hopefully he doesn't get to the point where he really hurts somebody or kills somebody or somebody kills him, because truth of the matter is, that's how we lost Tupac. We loved him. Most of us did. But he pissed off the wrong dude. And they killed his ass. That's what happened. You know what I mean? And I fear that for Chris. I just do. And I don't take it as personally as you do, which is understandable because of your personal connections to some of the things that he was connected to. I just see Chris as a cautionary tale. And I'll just say this last thing. You know, black men have this thing about not going to therapy. Just cut the bullshit and go to therapy. Go to therapy. If your foot hurt, you go to podiatrist. If you need a tooth pulled, you go to the dentist. If your brain is scrambled, then go to freaking psychologist. And if you need meds, get meds. If you just need to rap, then go rap. But Chris need to talk to somebody. And if he don't, he's going to continue going 100 miles an hour in life, and he's going to crash into a wall one day, and don't nobody live crashing into no wall at 100 miles an hour. Straight up.
Nah. That's all I got, man.
Ain't no Steppin Marcus. That's all they got. I guess I closed it out. We're going to take our final break of the night. We got a couple of words from our sponsor. We got a song. Then we got our rants. We got our closers. Ain't no Steppin Marcus J live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Be back in a minute.